Peppa Pig's scary episode, The Silent Playground. Today, Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Daddy Pig decided to visit a new playground. The day was sunny, and everyone was excited for the walk. Daddy Pig said it was the biggest playground around, and Peppa and George were thrilled. When they arrived, the playground was empty. The swings were slowly swaying on their own. Peppa frowned. "Why is no one here?" asked Peppa. "Maybe everyone is at home," Mummy Pig replied, but her voice was trembling. George walked up to the slide but stopped and looked at it. Strange faces were drawn on its surface. They looked like they were staring straight at him. Peppa sat on the swing and began to swing. At first it was fun, but then the swing began to move on its own, faster and faster. "Mummy!" shouted Peppa. "The swing is swinging by itself." Mummy Pig ran up to her but suddenly stopped. Near the merry-go-round stood someone, the figure of a child, but its face was blurry, as if smudged away. "Who is that?" whispered Peppa. No one answered. Everything around them grew very quiet. Even the birds stopped singing. Then Peppa heard a voice, faint, barely audible. "Play with us," someone whispered directly into her ear. Peppa screamed and ran to her mother. George was crying. "Home! Home!" sobbed George. Daddy Pig picked the children up. "Run!" he shouted. As they fled, Peppa looked back. On the playground stood dark figures, many of them. They were slowly waving their hands. At the playground's exit hung a sign. "The playground is closed forever." Peppa hugged her mother tightly. The family quickly walked away, but behind them, a faint sound of children's laughter still echoed for a long time. Peppa Pig's scary episode, Monster in the Forest.
Today, Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Daddy Pig went for a walk in the forest. Everything was as usual. They laughed, walked along the path, and looked for pine cones. But something didn't feel right to Peppa. The forest was too quiet. Not a single bird was singing, not a single breeze blew. "Daddy, why does it feel strange here?" Peppa asked. "It's just your imagination," Daddy Pig replied and kept walking. Suddenly, George stopped. He was staring deep into the forest. In the shadows between the trees, it looked like someone was standing there. Peppa turned away for just a second. She looked at a pretty leaf. And when she turned back, George was gone. "George!" she called. "George!" Louder. Silence. Mummy and Daddy had walked ahead. They didn't hear. Peppa ran into the forest, toward where George had been. She went deeper and deeper. The trees grew taller, the branches more twisted. The air felt cold, like in a basement. Suddenly, a crunch. Peppa turned and saw a figure. Tall, very thin, with long arms and white, empty eyes. The figure was holding George's blue dinosaur. "This can't be," Peppa whispered. The creature took a step forward. Its face looked like a mask. No mouth, only unblinking eyes. Peppa screamed and ran back, but the path was gone. She ran between the trees, tripped, and fell. When she got up, Mummy and Daddy were in front of her. But something was wrong. Their smiles were too wide, and their eyes black like the creature's. "Did you find him?" Mummy asked. Her voice sounded strange, empty. Peppa slowly stepped back, and then behind her, someone whispered, "He found you first." The screen fades to black. The last thing we see is a tree with Peppa's face carved into the bark. No eyes, no mouth, only a scar in the shape of a smile.